Right, folks, gather around because today we've got some absolute belters of news straight from Ibrox. The managerial merry-go-round is well and truly in motion, and Rangers are on the hunt for their next permanent gaffer. Now Barry Ferguson's been holding the forward eye, and fair play to him. There's been glimpses of promise with sparks here and there. But let's be honest, everyone inside and outside the club knows he's unlikely to get the gig on a full-time basis. Sentimental value aside, the board's looking elsewhere. And here's where it gets proper juicy. The man with the golden whistle. Fabrizio Romano has dropped one of his famous "here we go" bombs, or at least close enough. He's confirmed that a deal for Rangers' next permanent manager is nearly done and dusted. That's right, folks, the wait might soon be over. We're talking about serious talk's final stages, the kind where you're ironing out the last wrinkles before putting pen to paper. We'll dive into that bombshell in a moment, but there's even more to unpack. Let's rewind a bit to what's just unfolded with the planned trip down under. Rangers have officially pulled out of a friendly match in Australia, and it's not the first time they've done this dance. For the second time in 3 years, the club's decided to stay put rather than jet off for a preseason glamour tie. This time, the opponent was set to be none other than Greek giants Olympiacos. The plan was simple enough. Fly out at the tail end of May, with the squad led by Barry Ferguson, spend a wee 5 days basking in the Aussie sun, play the match on May 28th, and head back to Glasgow by the 30th. Sounds straightforward, right? Well, football's never that simple. The problem is Rangers' run in the Europa League complicated things. At the time of making the call, they were still well in the fight, gearing up for a two-legged battle against Athletic Bilbao. The brass at Ibrox had to think long and hard. Was it really worth risking player fatigue and overloading the schedule for a commercial trip halfway across the globe? The answer in the end was a resounding no. They pulled the plug, even though the dream of European silverware eventually slipped away after a tough night in Spain. But here's the kicker. This wasn't the first time the club has made a U-turn on playing in Australia. A couple of years back, Rangers were lined up to participate in a friendly tournament down there, one that would have seen them lock horns with Celtic outside of Glasgow for the very first time. As you can imagine, that didn't sit well with large sections of the fan base. The backlash was fierce, loud, and relentless. The very idea of exporting the old firm derby for a payday didn't go down well, and in the end, Rangers had no choice but to withdraw. That decision cost them a tidy sum, about £3 million to be precise. But for the supporters, principle mattered more than profit. Fast forward to now, and although this time the reasoning was different, the outcome's the same. Rangers, once again, are staying home, focusing on the competitions that truly matter, keeping their eyes on the bigger picture. With the season reaching its climax and the Europa League campaign demanding every ounce of focus and energy flying across the world for a friendly simply didn't fit into the equation. But let's circle back to the hot topic. The new manager. After Philippe Clement's departure back in February, the club's been meticulously searching for the right man to take the reins. Names have been floated, rumors have swirled, and finally, there seems to be a front-runner emerging. David Ancelotti, son of the legendary Carlo, is firmly in the frame. Reports out of Italy and Spain, now echoed by Fabrizio Romano himself, indicate that the young coach is being seriously considered for the Ibrox hot seat, and by all accounts, negotiations are advancing at a brisk pace. Now it would be a bold move, no doubt about it. David's got the pedigree, having worked alongside his father at Real Madrid, but stepping out from under Carlo's shadow to lead a club like Rangers would be a different challenge altogether. That said, those in the know speak highly of his tactical. Now his attention to detail and his ability to connect with players. Word is Carlo himself often leaves the day-to-day training sessions and tactical drills in David's capable hands. So while he might not be the biggest name out there, he's certainly no novice. The search has been spearheaded by incoming sporting director Kevin Thelwell and Greta Steinson, both of whom bring experience from their stints at Everton. Their task is clear: find a manager who fits the club's vision, one who can lead Rangers into a new era of competitiveness both domestically and in Europe. The key here is that the appointment of Clement's successor isn't being held up by the impending takeover involving the 49ers Enterprises Group. The process is moving independently, and the hope is to have everything wrapped up within the next 4 weeks. Interestingly, Rangers have been casting a wide net, considering candidates from a variety of backgrounds, including coaches linked to the Red Bull football family, organizations renowned for their innovative high-pressing style of play. With Fornida, who is with a 49ers connections to that network, it's no surprise those profiles are being explored. But as it stands, Ancelotti seems to have edged ahead in the race. Sources close to the situation at Ibrox suggest that while discussions are ongoing with multiple candidates, the club is edging closer to making a final decision. The ambition is clear, bringing a fresh face, untainted by previous ties to the club, someone who can offer a new perspective and drive Rangers forward. Since Steven Gerrard's exit in 2021, Rangers have cycled through 3 different managers each with varying degrees of success and failure. The next appointment, therefore, carries significant weight. It's not just about steadying the ship, it's about charting a new course entirely. The club's leadership knows they can't afford another misstep. Barry Ferguson, ever the club man, has been vocal about the need to get this sorted sooner rather than later. With a busy summer transfer window looming and Champions League qualifiers, fast approaching time is of the essence. In his own words, after a hard-fought 1-1 draw against Celtic, he stressed the urgency of bringing in the right person to lead the team. Kevin Thelwell is set to officially begin his role around mid-June, but the wheels are already in motion. The reality is simple: by the time the new season kicks off, Rangers need to be ready. The squad needs to be reinforced, tactics refined, and the new manager's philosophy embedded. Every day counts. And while David Ancelotti is currently the frontrunner, there are other names being linked to the job as well. One of them is Russell Martin, the former Southampton boss and ex-Ibrox defender. His name has been floated as a possible contender given his track record of promoting attractive football and his knowledge of Scottish football culture. After guiding Southampton back to the Premier League with a club record 25-game unbeaten run, his stock remains high despite his eventual dismissal following a rough patch in the top flight. Martin himself has admitted he's ready to return to management after taking some time out. He's been reflecting, recharging, and is now looking for the right opportunity to get back in the dugout. But he's also made it clear he won't jump at just any offer. It has to be the right fit, both in terms of footballing philosophy and club culture. So while nothing's been finalized yet, it's safe to say that Rangers are edging closer to unveiling their new manager. The search has been thorough, the stakes are high, and the coming weeks will be pivotal in shaping the club's future direction. Now, while the talk of a new gaffer has taken center stage, there's still a fair bit happening behind the scenes that we can't ignore. The club's gearing up for a massive summer one that could well define the next few years at Ibrox. With the Champions League qualifiers looming on the horizon, there's no room for hesitation. The squad needs strengthening, the backroom needs stability, and the fans are desperate to see a clear vision unfolding. Kevin Thelwell, although not yet officially in the building, is already knee-deep in the manager hunt. Alongside Greta Steinsson, he's been leading the interview, speaking to potential candidates and shaping the profile of who they want leading the Rangers project. Their approach has been methodical, focusing not just on immediate results, but on long-term development. They want a manager who can build something sustainable, someone who understands the pressures of Ibrox but isn't shackled by the weight of its history. That's why the emphasis has been on fresh faces. Since Gerrard's departure, the club has flirted with the idea of going back to familiar names, but it's clear now they're looking to break that cycle. They're after someone who brings new ideas, new energy, and most importantly, a style of play that can excite the fans while delivering silverware. David Ancelotti ticks many of those boxes. Young, tactically astute, and eager to prove himself outside. Of his father's shadow, he represents a bold but calculated gamble. However, as mentioned before, he's not the only name in the frame. Russell Martin's links to the job can't be ignored. Despite his rocky end at Southampton, his philosophy of possession-based attacking football has its admirers. He's built a reputation for getting teams playing with bravery and purpose, something the Rangers faithful would welcome after a turbulent couple of seasons. Martin himself has spoken openly about his readiness to return, highlighting how the time away has allowed him to reflect and reset. But crucially, he's been selective. He's knocked back offers that didn't feel right, waiting for the opportunity that aligns with his vision and values. For Rangers, it's not just about the man in the dugout. The club's ownership situation is also nearing a pivotal moment. The 49ers Enterprises Group is on the cusp of completing their takeover, with June earmarked as a likely time frame for the official handover. Their influence is already being felt, particularly in the structured, data-driven approach to recruitment and management selection. With ties to the Red Bull Football Network and experience in modernizing sports franchises, their involvement signals a shift towards a more progressive Rangers. That's why the managerial appointment is so crucial. It's not just about patching up results or steadying the ship for a season. It's about laying the foundation for a new era, one that blends the club's proud traditions with the demands of modern football. The likes of Steinson and Thelwell have been brought in to drive this transformation, and the choice of manager will be the first major statement of intent. Back on the pitch, though time waits for no one, the season's end is fast approaching, and with it comes the need to hit the ground running in European qualifiers. Rangers have already felt the sting of falling short in recent campaigns, and there's a real urgency to ensure the squad is battle-ready. Transfer plans are being drawn up with targets identified across multiple positions. But of course, much of that hinges on the new manager's input. His style, his system, his priorities, all of that will shape who comes in and who moves on. Barry Ferguson, ever the passionate voice of reason, has been vocal about the need for swift action. After that 1-1 draw with Celtic, he didn't mince. His words. He knows the club can't afford to drag its feet. Thelwell might be officially starting in mid-June, but the groundwork is being laid now. The process is moving, decisions are being made, and the clock is ticking. Every day counts when you're trying to build a team capable of reclaiming the Premiership crown and making a mark in Europe. It's also worth noting that the mood among the supporters is cautiously optimistic. There's frustration, of course, given the inconsistency of recent seasons, but there's also a sense that change is genuinely on the horizon. The potential appointment of someone like Ancelotti would be a statement, a signal that Rangers are ready to think outside the box to embrace a new footballing identity. But it's a decision that has to be right. The fans will not settle for another false dawn. Meanwhile, Russell Martin's candid reflections on his managerial journey resonate with many. His spell at Southampton, while ending in disappointment, showcased his belief in a clear footballing philosophy. Leading the Saints back to the Premier League with a record unbeaten run was no small feat. His honesty about turning down other jobs because they didn't feel right shows a manager who's not in it for a quick payday, but for the right project. That mindset could align well with what Rangers are trying to build. As the days roll on, the expectation is that the club will finalize their choice sooner rather than later. With European qualifiers looming, pre-season preparations need to be mapped out. The squad needs clarity, the fans need reassurance, and the new ownership needs to hit the ground running with a positive first impression. Appointing a forward-thinking, ambitious manager would be a powerful way to start this new chapter. One thing's for sure though, the next few weeks are going to be absolutely crucial, from the managerial appointment to summer signings, and the formal completion of the takeover. Rangers are entering a period of significant change. The pieces are moving, the plans are in motion, and the future of the club is being shaped right now. There's work to be done, no doubt about it, but there's also opportunity. An opportunity to reset, to rebuild, and to reignite the passion that makes Rangers Football Club one of the giants of Scottish and European football. The supporters are ready, the stage is set, and now it's up to the club to deliver. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. In a stunning twist that's shaken the blue side of Glasgow, strong rumors are swirling that Barry Ferguson has been relieved of his duties as Rangers manager, with none other than Steven Gerrard set for a sensational return to Ibrox. The whispers gained traction late last night and have sent the Rangers support into a frenzy of speculation and anticipation. Ferguson, a Rangers legend in his own right, took the reins in a bid to steady the ship during turbulent times. But recent performances and whispers of unrest behind the scenes may have accelerated his departure. Though the club has yet to issue an official statement, sources close to the matter suggest the board moved swiftly, following a disappointing run of results and growing frustration from supporters. Enter Gerrard, the former Liverpool in England. Captain previously led Rangers to a historic Premiership title in 2020-21, ending Celtic's bid for 10 in a row and re-establishing the club's dominance. His tenure was marked by discipline, tactical solidity, and a strong European showing. Gerrard's name has remained in the hearts of many Rangers fans, and his potential return is being heralded as a chance to recapture that former glory. Wow. Details remain unconfirmed. Sightings of Gerrard arriving in Glasgow earlier today have only added fuel to the fire. Reports claim he's already held preliminary talks with the board and is eager to get back into management following his stints in the English game. The mood around Ibrox is electric with cautious optimism. Some fans are already dusting off their scarves from the title-winning season, hopeful that Gerrard can once again ignite the fire within the squad. Others, however, are waiting for concrete confirmation before celebrating the managerial shakeup. What remains clear is that changes in the air at Rangers, and with Gerrard possibly back in the dugout, the Scottish Premiership could be in for yet another thrilling chapter. Greetings, fans! Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.